know it's been a while, I have a few videos that I'm working on, but I dropped everything for this one. I'm a huge Witcher fan. I love the books, love the games. I liked the Netflix series for about 5 minutes, and nothing against the cast, but I won't go any more into it because it'll just turn into a rant. But I was not expecting this trailer to drop last night at the Game Awards. In this video, I'm going to go over all the hidden details you may have missed in this trailer, as well as talk about what the creators have shared with us so far about Witcher 4. So this will get into spoiler territory if you've never played the games before. So with that warning out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's roll the new intro. This game trailer was made in custom build of Unreal Engine 5, and it was a beautiful trailer. Alright, so the trailer starts off with a father speaking to his daughter, almost like writing a letter, but then we see someone lighting a fire, and then they pull out their sword and begin sharpening it. This blade immediately is Ciri, which is Ciri's sword that was a gift from Geralt at the end of Witcher 3 when she became a Witcher. We also see these people seem to be preparing for a ritual of some sort. According to the director, at first glance, it seems that it is just a flower that is floating on top of the water, but the fun fact is that this very Salvic kind of flower, this is a very special flower that people in medieval era were using in special moments to defeat evil. It is very symbolic, and he also explains that every single frame here is very meaningful. This girl that is doing the ritual, her name is Mione, and someone in the crowd notices the Witcher and asks, who paid for this Witcher? We've always said that this world doesn't need a hero, it needs a professional, states the Witcher 4 game director Sebastian Kalimba, and indeed, there is no room or want for heroes in the Northern Kingdoms. Professional monster hunters, known as Witchers, may solve the population's problems, but not without being feared themselves. And we see this here with the villagers looking at this character, our new protagonist, with distrust and disgust. This guy tries to stop the hooded Witcher from going after Mione, and when she turns around, we get the confirmation it's our girl, Ciri. So at least we know this takes place after the good ending of Witcher 3. But we've already just confirmed this with looking at her sword. We see several years have passed since Witcher 3, and now it looks like she's taken on the title Witcher, and we see the burden as well that comes with that, with how the villagers are treating her. And if you look, she's also wearing the medallion, but the biggest thing now is that we can see her cat-like eyes immediately tells me that she's done the trial of grasses. It is a painful rite of passage for any graduating Witcher. This trial will mutate the participant's body into something more than human. The producer says in an interview that decision was a huge call to make, not only for her but for the game, but then it's so important and still leaves so much space for imagination, like when it happened. How did it happen? It's just a tease showing something, but you don't know where you'll experience it and how in the game. The producer said, I think it's a huge change and I hope people did not expect it. Which I agree, I did not expect it. But I'm interested to see how and when this happened, because Geralt and I'm sure Yennefer were hesitant with this, at least at first. Now the creators did share in this interview, they wanted to show both Mione and Ciri preparing for something in parallel. And for us as the viewers, we don't know exactly what they're preparing for. Also, the creator did share that this place is far north in the Witcher world, but won't share exactly where it is. They want to keep that a mystery. Now we see Ciri following Mione into the dead forest, and she's in front of a cave. Mione is doing this ritual, and Ciri tells her to go back to the village, and she doesn't want to because she must save the village. Ciri tells her to save herself, and then they hear a roar, and then we also see the medallion start to shake. And it was the same like in the past Witcher games. That medallion vibrates the moment that there is trouble. Ciri tells her to run back to her father and pulls out her silver sword. Now the silver sword is what Witchers use to slay monsters. Now just like Geralt, in years of reading and learning about Ciri, she at this point is not really interested in the coin. She wants to save Mione. At least that's how I saw this moment. What do you guys think? Now she goes in the cave and you can hear voices. According to the director, he says this monster is called a Bayuk, and I think I said that right. He has the ability to smell your fear, to be able to play with your traumas, to paralyze you, so that you finally become easy prey and an easy meal. And they did such a good job on this because in the trailer we can't see this monster at first. We're just hearing these voices talk about the ritual and surprise attacking Ciri without showing its face just yet. Now we see Ciri also brings out a potion and starts to drink it, which we've seen Geralt do the exact same thing in the past. Which if you didn't know, Witcher potions are actually poison. The creators explain that the Witcher potions are poison. This is how it works in this world. A regular human being would definitely die, but Ciri as a mutant is able to not only survive but build an advantage because of this potion. She's deadly focused, has tons tunnel vision and hears no more voices because the potion helps her block out the Bayuk's whispers. This also helps her see better in the fog because now she can see the monster. We see her fight off the monster. Looks like she's using the Witcher sign for Quen here, which is a protective shield that Witchers can cast. The monster does knock her to the ground and she loses her sword, and we're getting a close-up of this monster's face. Then we see something interesting happen. She is using magic outside of the signs we normally saw with Geralt, but that is because when it comes to combat, the differences between Geralt and Ciri is magic. Geralt knows the basic signs, but Ciri trained with Yennefer and Trish years ago on how to command the power of sorcery. We did see some of this in Witcher 3 when you got to play as her and teleport around, and in the novels and then in the TV show as well. We've seen her train with both Yennefer and in the past with Geralt as well, but clearly she's had way more training. We see her drawing energy from the cave's water and then turns it into electrified blast. Then she grabs her sword and begins to cut off the monster's arms. Now this next part is a nice homage to Geralt. We see her unravel the chain around her arm and she dodges the attack and manages to wrap the chain around the monster. Now this chain is also made out of silver, like what Geralt did to the Striga in the first Witcher game's opening scene, or like what we saw in the TV series when he fought the Striga, which is why I say it's a nice homage. The creators also confirmed that it's homage to the first game, but now we get a little bit of her twist added to it. She adds magic to the chains. She makes the chain stronger and closes the distance between her and the monster, and she takes off the monster's head. Now really quick on the music, it is CD Projekt Red's very own composer, P.T. Adamczyk. Yet again, apologize if I said his name wrong. He is new to the Witcher franchise, but he did work on the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack. The title of the song used in this trailer is called No Gods, Only Monsters. When Ciri is heading back to the village with the monster's head, she hears screaming and drops the head and runs to the people. When she runs to the villagers, we hear Mione's father screaming and crying, and the villagers are pissed, yelling at him something about tradition and how she was supposed to go to the woods. And we see Mione has been stabbed, and her father is crying over her. He clearly was also attacked. It looks like he tried to protect her, and you hear the villagers say that all they wanted was for her to go to the woods, to go to the gods, and Ciri yells, "Gods?" She says there are no gods here, only monsters, and that ends the trailer. The director explains, "We wanted to kind of leave room for interpretation. You don't know what she is about to do, but the way she delivers it, you know there are no gods here in this forest. There was only a monster, and it is that simple. But these people, they're driven by superstitions, so they don't believe her. She can show them the chopped head trophy, and they will still follow the bloody old paths. But it's also symbolic when it comes to the overall profession of a witcher. It's kind of like, who's the monster?" the producer adds. For her, it's about being this hope in all of that. Still with this passion, even though the world is very dark, you could still fight for it. Now those of you that are watching may be very familiar with the Witcher franchise. It is a dark world that they live in, and looking at this trailer, the woman died at the hands of the villagers. And what I've always liked with these games, Ciri may have chosen what she thought was the right choice, but she did not see this coming. She did not see that the villagers would kill her instead. This is part of the consequences of her choices. This moment shows the choice and consequences center quest design that CD Projekt Red is known for. The director also shared, "What I love about this world is that it's dark and it's grim, but there is always this shade of hope and warmth. As you know, the way we make these games is all about choices and consequences, but in this case, Ciri is simply super disappointed again with humans, right? Humans are simply, in this case, in the village, incapable of change. These people are driven by superstition, some bloody tradition that they establish, because what helped them establish this is simply just fear. These people at some point will notice that the change will come because the Bayuk's fog will never appear again. That needs to last for years for people to be able to experience it. And probably there's going to be a folk story about the Witcher with the gray hair that years ago came here and defeated the monster so we can all live our lives the way we live. It's not just a hero's story, even though she wants it to be. The world doesn't work like that," said the other producer. So the lessons are hard, but then again, as a player, you can always make a choice. And then in the previous games, it's never black and white. You don't know about the consequences or how it'll affect the world. And of course, that is part of what we want to embrace with Witcher 4 as well. Now in this trailer, we did not see Geralt, but I think that we will see him again. He was the main protagonist for the last 3 games. How that will work, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see how different these two are. Geralt always tried to stay neutral throughout the last 3 games. Ciri isn't the type to stay neutral, and the director confirmed this as well. He says she's way younger and she's still defining her own code mind, and she's less pragmatic. The producer also shares, I think that what makes her so special as a protagonist overall is that she has so many layers and the passion and engagement of being a Witcher, but she wants to be the person that is always choosing a side. There is no neutral anymore in her. So this new path, right? Maybe? And a new experience for the player as well. What do you guys think of this trailer? Were you just as surprised as I was when I saw this trailer dropped at the awards? That made my night when I saw this. I love this series and I can't wait to see more. I've always loved the family dynamics with Ciri, Geralt, and Yennefer. So for me, I just need a trailer showing Yennefer and I will be the happiest person in the world. As of now, there is no release date, and I hope that CD Projekt Red keeps their promise on not having a repeat of Cyberpunk 2077's release. That was such a bad release, and I think they learned from that mistake. Comment down below on what your thoughts are on this trailer, and are you also excited that Cyberpunk 2 is eventually going to happen as well? Please hit that like button and that subscribe button if you like this content as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.